Hello! In today's video, we're going to talk about the latest news concerning Major League Baseball's plans for the upcoming baseball season. I'm going to tell you why I think the plan to play games in isolation in Arizona is a very bad idea, and I'm also going to tell you what I would do if I was in charge. So let's go. In case you haven't heard, Jeff Passan of ESPN is reporting that Major League Baseball is strongly considering a plan to begin the season in May. They want to have all the games be played in Arizona in front of empty stadiums, and they want all the teams to be completely isolated from the general public, including their friends and family. I've got a link to the story down below so you can check it out. This is a bad idea. I completely understand the desire of the players and the owners to salvage as much of the baseball season as they can. I mean, they would lose tremendous amounts of money if the season were canceled or if it was dramatically shortened. And I also understand that fans want to watch baseball games. Believe me, I want to watch baseball games. Sports and baseball can be an amazing thing to lift up people's spirits during this difficult time, just like they were after September 11th. But this plan seems totally and completely insane. First off, the logistics of trying to cram the entire baseball apparatus into the Phoenix area seems completely like a nightmare. Think about all the players, all the coaches, all the support staff, all the trainers, all the equipment crew, the grounds crew, not to mention media and television crews. I mean, when you think about it, that would be hundreds if not thousands of people. And even if you were somehow able to get all those people confined to the Phoenix area, how on earth are you going to isolate them the way Major League Baseball wants? I mean, what are the odds that all of those people are going to stay in their confined little bubble and never be exposed to the coronavirus? But let's assume somehow that you're able to pull this off and that the teams are able to completely isolate themselves from the general public. Do we really think this is fair? Maybe the ball players would be okay with it in the interest of saving the season, but what about everybody else? Why are we asking these people to make these sacrifices? Is baseball really that important? I don't think it is. The only reasonable course of action is for Major League Baseball to continue to wait this out. Games should not be played until the virus is under control, testing is widespread, and all of the social distancing guidelines have been lifted. Now, I'm not an expert in this field by any means, but I know that eventually these things are going to happen. Eventually the virus will be under control, and eventually businesses will need to reopen. At some point, life is going to return to something that resembles normal, and then and only then should we be thinking about playing baseball games. And even then, we should do it with an abundance of caution. Based on all of the news reports, the earliest that this can happen is probably going to be sometime this summer. If that happens, then I do think we can salvage a shortened season. But if not, I think you got to pull the plug. I think the sad truth is that you're going to have to cancel the season. But let's be optimistic here. Let's assume that the health agencies and the government are going to give us the all clear at some point this summer and that baseball is going to go on. In that case, let me tell you what I think they should do. Number 1, start the season in empty stadiums. I know this would be a bummer and nobody wants to see this, but the league needs to operate under an abundance of caution, even if the virus is contained. Let's play the games with empty stadiums, with just the teams and the support staff and the media, and let's see how that goes. If things go well, we can add fans down the road, but at least in the beginning, play in front of empty stadiums. It's just not worth the risk to bring 50,000 fans into the mix. Let's play the games in empty parks and let's all just watch on TV, alright? Number 2, let the Major League Baseball AllStar Game serve as the kickoff of the 2020 season. This year's All-Star break was scheduled to be from July 12th to July 15th, and the game was scheduled to be held at Dodger Stadium. I say let's make that game the centerpiece of Major League Baseball's return to action. The ratings would be insane. It would probably be the biggest baseball game of all time. Every single person in the country is going to tune in to watch this game, I guarantee you. Let's begin the full regular season on Tuesday, July 14th, and have every team play from Tuesday through Sunday throughout the entire season, with Mondays being scheduled off days. Have the regular season run for 17 weeks through November 1st. At a rate of 6 games per week, every team would play 96 games. Not a full season for sure, but enough games to make the season feel legitimate. We need to come to terms with the fact that there's no way we're going to have a full 162 game schedule this year, so 96 sounds pretty good to me. Every game and every series would be a little more important, and I think that's actually a pretty good thing. Number 5, eliminate all interleague games and have every team play an unbalanced schedule with more games against teams within their division. In a shortened season, we're going to need to trim the fat. Interleague games are fun, but they're not essential. The way my season is laid out, there's going to be 17 weeks of baseball, which means there's going to be 34 total series played. I would have each team play 3 series against the other 4 teams within their own division and 2 series each against the other teams within the league. For example, the Dodgers would play the National League Central 30 times with 6 games each against the Pirates, Reds, Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers. They play 30 times against the NL East with 6 games against the Mets, Phillies, Marlins, Braves, and Nationals. And then they would play within their own division 36 times with 9 games each against the Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Padres. Under this format, every game and every series would be hugely important right up until the playoffs. When the playoffs start, we'll put the 3 division winners and 1 wild card from each league into the playoffs, and we'll play the games throughout the month of November in neutral stadiums. We need to simplify things as much as possible to make this work, and so for this 1 year only, we're dumping the second wild card. As for the stadiums, running the regular season through the month of October means that you're not going to be able to play the playoffs in the team's home parks. You're going to need to play the games in warm weather stadiums and in dome stadiums. You're going to need a total of 4 stadiums to get through this version of the playoffs, and so I would play the first round games in Los Angeles, Houston, Texas, and Atlanta. In the next round, I would eliminate the 2 Texas parks and play the NL Championship and the AL Championship in LA and Atlanta. And then as far as the World Series goes, I can think of no better place to play than sunny Southern California, but hey, I might be a little biased on that point. I think this plan would work. It would salvage the integrity of the season while being abundantly cautious, and it will give fans a ton of great baseball games to watch throughout the year. A couple other minor notes. Number 1, I would say it's absolutely critical for the games to be available to watch on television as much as possible, especially if the stadiums are empty. I would hope that every major market would come up with a deal to show their home team games on free over-the-air broadcast television. I also think it would be awesome if Major League Baseball would come up with a plan to show 1 nationally televised game every night and have it available to the entire country with no blackouts and no restrictions. This is an amazing opportunity for baseball to market itself throughout the country and to just get a ton of eyeballs on the sport. So I feel like ideas like this are really a no-brainer. I also think that rosters should be expanded by about 2 or 3 for the entirety of the season to protect the players from overuse. But I don't think we need to force any doubleheaders into the schedule. I also love Justin Turner's idea for extra inning games. In case you haven't heard, he's suggesting that if a game ends in a tie, instead of going to extra innings, that the result be settled by a 3-man home run derby. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, when you think about it, soccer and hockey already have a version of this when they play their shootouts, and so why not do this in baseball? It'll make things more exciting, and it's a one-time thing for a truly extraordinary season in an extraordinary circumstance. It'll bring more excitement to the game, and again, it'll protect the pitchers from overuse. Finally, for any of this to work, teams need to be able to get together for an abbreviated spring training beginning at the latest the last week of June. This would give them about 2 or 3 weeks to practice, scrimmage, get in game shape before the season kicks off after the AllStar Game. This is critically important and it cannot be skipped. So unfortunately, if we don't have an all clear to resume baseball by the middle of June, then I think the season needs to be canceled. But we've still got time. Let's be patient. Let's continue to stay home. Let's continue to social distance. And let's just see how these next couple of weeks unfold. There's absolutely no reason to rush the games back. Even if we need to wait until after the All-Star break to start the season like I'm proposing, we're still going to have an awesome season. I promise you that. Okay, that's going to do it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. And let me know what you thought about this plan. And one last thing, if this video goes viral and blows up, I humbly ask that all media members always refer to this as the Sammy Plan. Alright, thanks a lot.